What kind of things inspire you every day to do what you do? Has it always been of interest to you to work with youth, or is it like a spur of the moment thing that just happened?
Yeah, no, young people have always been my thread actually. So
Mm.
even, kind of when I was a student, I went out to South America and I trained as an English language teacher and taught English in a number of different settings out there. And that was my first kind of, yeah, so I guess I must have been about 19. Started off, yeah, kind of in classrooms, and I love working with young people, but I also really love the learning kind of environment and thinking about how people learn best. And I've, yeah, kind of worked in a number of different educational settings before UK Youth, from sort of private tutoring and kind of working with parents and schools on kind of extra support for young people who need it, through to kind of facilitating and coaching and training those that are supporting young people. And so kind of, yeah, educational settings have always been really interesting to me. And I think, like I was saying with UK Youth, we kind of think about the place and the kind of power of non-formal settings and non-classroom settings. And I think there's just so much potential in those spaces where things can be more led by the young person
Mm-hmm.
than kind of a sort of structured top-down approach. And I think when you do that, and again, when you share power with young people and work kind of in where they want to be and kind of at their pace, then we get to learn a lot more from young people.
Yeah.
I think if we set a curriculum and say, this is what we're doing, okay, and we're just going to put it on you and you need to do it, then we're really literally limiting them to whatever the curriculum or the kind of parameters are. Whereas if we say, okay, cool, this is an equal relationship, like what would you like to do? Where would you like to take this project or this residential or whatever it might be? Then, yeah, we get to learn in it too. We get to really see things through young people's eyes. We get to see things differently. And I think that then young people also feel empowered to, yeah, to
Yeah.
understand they can lead their own lives. They don't need to kind of have things necessarily sort of put on them. I think we've kind of got a bit lost along the way with the education system of how we view that. And I just genuinely believe that every young person has all that potential in
They
them, and
do,
our job is to bring it out rather
of
than to
course.
put things onto them.
Yeah, of course. 'Cause I know exactly how you feel because me being a teacher as well, I know exactly what it's like to work with the youth and as you see them just grow in their personality. They can either start off really shy and quiet and then grow into this amazing, confident person who knows exactly what they want. And how does that kind of make you feel when you see the like people that you work with, the youth that you work with, going from maybe not talking much or not doing much and then growing into this really confident person who knows exactly what they want and they're working towards exactly what they want? How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it really. That transformation, and I think that it's so important for us to gather those stories as well, and to
Mm.
really hear from young people about what it is that's been transformational for them about it. So if they can recognise that their confidence has improved because of a particular experience or because of a relationship or a project that, yeah, kind of they've nurtured or worked on. I think it's for me, it's one thing me observing that growth and change in a young person, but it's another thing for the young person themselves to be able to recognize it.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that takes a bit longer, right? You might not actually see it. They might have gone on and it's a couple of years later that they go, oh my God,
Yeah.
that person or that project I was part of, that changed me. And
Yeah.
but we can't always neatly know at the time that we have a survey in front of us,
Of
right, whether
course.
that
Yeah.
that thing has changed. And so I think it's a hard thing to measure. And yeah, I think if we can kind of keep 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 hold almost of like our relationships with young people, and we can see it often kind of come to fruition in future
Yeah.
years. But it's yeah.
100%. I kind of wanted to add to that as well and
Mm.
ask sort of what have been some of the highlights of your career so far that you've worked in your time with work with the youth?
Oh, it's a hard
I
question.
know.
There are so many. I mean, I would. It's not just because I'm talking to you, but I would say that the big music project, perhaps because it was the first project that I worked on with UK youth. It was just such an amazing project. You know, it was multi-year, so we had like loads of time to kind of learn and iterate and improve. For those that don't know yet, this was all about kind of breaking the barriers of the music and creative industries for young people. So they had the opportunity to lead their own music projects in groups in their communities, and they received training and links to industry. And then we would do kind of big events like the one at the Ministry of Sound that we did to showcase not only the young talent, and that was part of it, you know, was to see young people who had talent to share and give that platform, but also just any young person, whether they were a performer or not, to see the value of music and creating together. And there were just some amazing moments in that. I can remember at one of the showcases we had a fiddle player from Scotland in a corridor with a grime artist from Hackney. And
Really?
they were collaborating and doing this kind of amazing mashup. And yeah, just seeing those moments of like, wow, anybody can jam with anybody.
Yeah, of course.
Just such a connector. And I just don't know whether those two young people ever would have spoken if they'd been at an event that was not, you know, kind of a music event.